Okay, so what we're going to do is just show you how to change the rear tyre and the brakes on this motorbike. This is a nouvo. It's a 115, but I think it's the same as the 125. It's quite a simple job, although there's no videos out there, so this is how you do it. Unfortunately, we only decided to do the video after I'd already took it off. So basically I'm going to do it in reverse. I'm going to put it back together. So we're going to start with the rear brakes. So the rear brakes, you need to look at this because this is the way they go on. Notice that the springs are on the top of the brake pad, not behind. So they'll sit in like that. And the easy way of installing them is to make sure you've got both springs on and just fold it in sort of half. Put it over around the round sprocket and either side of the flat side, and then you should just be able to literally push it up. A little bit of fiddling about, and there she is, making sure she's sitting nicely behind the pin there. And that's as simple as it is to change the shoes. Okay, so we're just going to pop the wheel back on. So I've just had a new tyre put on. We're just going to clean any dust out from here. If it's really scored, you might want to run a bit of emery cloth around it, but only lightly. And there she goes. Okay, so that's going to sit in front of you. Oh, a little tip, before you do this, you need to adjust the brakes all the way out. So come around this side. So this little, just adjust it all the way out. Otherwise the shoes will be expanded, you'll have a job getting it off. So undo this little wing nut as far as you can. Right. So, this is the first time I've ever put this back together, but it was easy enough to take apart. The only thing that gets in the way a little bit is this shocker, but you can move it out of the way. Get a little bit of wiggle, on she goes. Okay. To put the rest of it back together, all of the whole exhaust comes off with the back swinging arm. So to get this off, basically just undo these two bolts on the manifold up there, and you don't have to undo any of the rest of the exhaust, you just take the whole swinging arm off. So I'm just going to pop this back on. Oh, while you're doing this little thing comes out, this little bearing, so make sure you got that back in before you stick it back on. There she goes. Got the shocker out of the way. I should just be able to bolt her up. Okay, so there's one underneath somewhere. Just before you knit them up tightly, just check that the exhaust is sitting on the manifold properly, and then all we need to do is just you can right underneath here, just make sure it's sitting in properly. So I'm just going to bolt them up, do it all up before you get this one. It's a bit of a pain. Pause the video, we'll be back to part 2. Okay, welcome back. We managed to get the exhaust on, it was a bit bigger. It says actually broken there, but I'm sure it'll be okay. Just be careful when putting these bolts back in. There's only 3 that you need to undo. One there, one underneath. One of them is a little bit smaller, which is the shocker bolt. The other 2 are the same size. So that's basically it. The other thing that we need to do is put this nut back on. So this nut goes on the main wheel itself. Just there. Found the easiest way of doing this is just to keep the back brake on. And then you can, just because that spins with the wheel. So just keep the back brake on, and then you'll be able to tighten that up with a spanner or whatever you've got. Okay, so that's pretty much all back together, just needs tightening up. One last thing, I'll just show you the front brakes, shouldn't take too long. So on the front we've got brake shoes as opposed to brake pads as opposed to brake shoes. 2 nuts, 2 bolts, this one here and the one at the bottom. And so I'm doing all this with a really crappy tool set. You can see the really crappy tool set, there it is. Anywhere else in the world that'd be $10. In Bermuda, 34. Welcome to Bermuda. So just undo these 2. They are actually on, they're all greased. So when you put them down, just make sure you don't get crap on them. And then the whole caliper will come off. At which point you will need to press the pistons in, just nice and slowly. They'll go in. Okay, so they're all nicely in, and then you just gently lever these out. I'll show you my old ones because I've already done these. So they're the old ones. There's still a little bit of meat on them, but basically they just fit in, they just slide in there. One from this side, one from the other side, and so they're the new ones. Just simply reverse the action, put your caliper back on. When you're putting these back in, do make sure that you don't catch these rubber grommets here. So make sure that that the bolt goes nicely in the middle of them so it doesn't squash them. I did find it easier when I actually changed them to undo this bolt as well, just to take the pipe off so you can get the caliper right out of the way. And that's it, and just tighten them back up. Again, if the shoes are really bad and they've scored the disc, you might want to take a little bit of fine emery cloth and just get rid of any major grooves in there. Okay, so just tighten them up reasonably tight. When you've done that, you'll find that your front brake will go all the way in, because that's just pushing them pistons out again. So if you pump it a couple of times, eventually she'll get nice and hard again. Okay, hope that helps. Thank you very much. Bye bye.